Coming up next on Making Moves, we're in Atlanta, where we'll check out some of the latest technology and innovations at the nation's largest transportation expo. We'll find out what a land swap between the city and JTA could mean for the future of LaVilla. And we'll hear how JTA completely changed a local woman's morning commute for the better. I'm Donna Deegan. These stories and more right now on Making Moves. Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Making Moves. I'm Donna Deegan. On today's show, Terry Casey introduces us to a downtown businesswoman who says making the switch to JTA changed her life. We'll also hear about a land deal between the city of Jacksonville and the JTA that could further change the landscape in LaVilla. We begin, though, with the largest transportation conference and expo in North America, held recently in Atlanta. During the event's opening session, JTA's Chief Executive Officer, Nat Ford, was selected as the new chairman for the American Public Transportation Association.
Our goal is to cement a strong foundation for APTA to be able to write our future. This will position us to refocus and reemphasize APTA's core mission of advocacy, innovation, and information sharing.
And Nat Ford joins us now from JTA headquarters downtown. First of all, congratulations on this tremendous honor. You're not only the first CEO from the JTA to be named APTA chairman in the organization's history, but the first ever from a Florida transit agency.
Yes, thank you, Donna. It is a great honor, and I appreciate that. Congratulations.
So tell us, what are your responsibilities as APTA's chairman?
Well, my responsibility is to lead the executive committee and our board of directors, helping us develop a strategy to advance public transportation across this nation, to be advocates for public transportation across the country, as well as to provide technical support to all of the member agencies, all of the transit systems that are part of the APTA family. We actually support them with technical advice and guidance and peer reviews, as well as our business members and helping our business members, who are a large part of our organization, have better ties and better business opportunities in terms of public transportation. So it's a great responsibility, and I'm truly honored.
So what's next? What are your goals for the coming year?
So as chair of APTA, I have 5 priorities. The first one is leadership and advocacy. We have to hire a new president for the American Public Transportation Association. So that, along with now shifting from that internal focus of hiring a president, also increasing our work in terms of advocacy, not just at the federal level, but also at the state and the local level, where our partnerships with the League of Cities, our partnerships with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, that needs to be strengthened. Second priority is helping to deal with the new mobility paradigm with entrants into transportation such as Uber, Lyft, a lot of the TNCs or shared mobility type operators. They are great partners that we need to work with in terms of public transportation, but moreover, I think public transportation needs to expand beyond rail, bus, paratransit, our ferry. It really needs to start looking at all mobility options as it relates to pedestrians and bicyclists. And so we have a much broader tent that I think we need to grow into. The third item is the workforce of the future. As we look at technology and its impact on our workforce in the future, we need to start training our employees now so that they would be beneficial just to them in terms of employment, but beneficial also as it relates to our industry and the changes that are happening because of technology. Also, big data management. We collect a great deal of management in terms of public transportation, everything from our ridership numbers, vehicle breakdowns, safety information. And we collect that information, and for the most part, we report it, we use it to guide our performance and see where we're performing either good or bad and use that to make adjustments. But I would submit that we need to start looking at public transportation and managing big data to the point that we are actually looking at the outcomes that are caused by a good, well-run public transportation agency. For example, in Columbus, Ohio, the recent winner of the 2015 Smart Cities competition, they received a grant for $50 million. Why? Because as part of their application for that grant, they showed the linkages of a good, robust public transportation to healthcare outcomes, particularly with infant mortality and expecting mothers, and how that connection of mothers with good health care through public transportation helps to bridge that gap and helps to improve in terms of infant vitality in their community. And then finally, safety and security, that's always going to be a priority in terms of American Public Transportation Association. However, I'd like to focus on cybersecurity. As we start branching into autonomous vehicles, more technology in terms of our operations, there is greater vulnerability as it relates to cybersecurity.
I've heard that almost immediately after your speech, APTA members were discussing your agenda in educational sessions all across the event center. So it sounds like your objectives really resonated with that APTA membership.
Yes, I believe they did, because for the past year, I've worked real hard listening to our members to ensure that we were really making the right, setting the right priorities for this upcoming year, this year of my chairmanship. And I also, as an agency head, I'm very familiar with some of the issues that face the JTA, and similarly, a lot of my colleagues around the country are facing these similar challenges. And so with that, I think it was a great platform, a great opportunity for me to express those priorities, and then at the same time, I think create some momentum to start transitioning transportation, particularly public transportation. So it's a time of transformation, it's a time of change, and I've been in this industry for 36 years. I think it resonated with the audience that here's someone who's been with us for part of the family for 36 years, now suggesting that we make a significant change and embrace the transformation that is occurring due to technology.
This appointment has already given you direct access to the current administration, especially to Secretary Chao. Have you had a chance to talk with her or the members of the administration yet about what you'd like to see coming out of Washington in regards to transportation?
Well, that is truly one of the benefits of serving as chair of this association, is that opportunity to engage the administration at the highest levels in this nation related to transportation. And so back in February of this year, I had a chance to meet Secretary Chao right after she was appointed by the president. And that was as the vice chairman of this association. Now as chairman, and recently last week at our conference, I got another chance to spend time with her, actually introduced her before she did her keynote speech to our attendees, and then spent about an hour or so with her on the expo floor for our expo exhibition. And had a chance to talk to her about public transportation and transportation in general, and share with her a lot of the needs that our agencies are facing and how her administration could be supportive of the work that we do across the country. I also have had a chance to spend a great deal of time with the acting FTA administrator, Ms. Jane Williams, and similar types of discussions and opportunities to share direct experience of what's happening in our cities and in our public transportation agencies.
Okay, before we let you go, I have to ask you about your speech. I understand that your parents were in the front row to watch your video and hear your speech, and that must have just been so gratifying, especially knowing your father is the one who introduced you to the transportation business.
That's right, Donna. We owe it to him for my start in this industry, and my mother for helping to nurture me in terms of those skills that I think helped me with leading large numbers of people and running large organizations. So I'm very fortunate. They were extremely proud. I got a chance to see them from the podium, and those smiles and their reactions were clearly the wind beneath my wings, and it was just such a great, pleasant experience to be recognized by my family for this accomplishment, but also by my peers, the hundreds of transit CEOs around the country, the board members, and the thousands of business members. Their selection of Nat Ford to lead this association at this time is truly an honor.
Well, congratulations. It's all so exciting, and we are very proud of your accomplishments and sure you're going to make a very great APTA chairman. Thanks, Nat Ford. And Secretary Elaine Chao was the surprise speaker at the APTA conference and expo. Chao told the packed room of transportation officials that the new administration recognizes the value of technology and innovation in transforming our transportation systems, citing autonomous vehicles and bus rapid transit systems like JTA's U2C project and its First Coast Flyer. After her speech, Chao joined Nat Ford to tour the expo where nearly 1,000 vendors were on hand to show off the latest innovations and advances in the transportation industry.
We're so pleased that you're here, right?
Thank you. Well, great to see your company.
With the autonomous vehicles technology on the minds of Secretary Chao and the administration, it seemed fitting to have a demonstration vehicle at the expo. Hundreds of expo visitors took the opportunity to check out an autonomous vehicle similar to what the JTA is pursuing as a replacement for the Skyway. The Keolis and Navia companies put on a free demonstration of their vehicle. Expo attendees could talk to company staff to learn more about technology before hopping on the Navia vehicle and taking a ride.
The coach can run up to 25 to 30 miles per hour. Right now we're only going about 7 miles an hour at our fastest point here. This right here is one of our designated stops. You can actually set it to where it would stop at every stop automatically, or you can bypass stops in the future. This right here, dwell time would be about 20 seconds. Once everybody boards and deboards, coach would actually close doors and you can continue in service.
One impressive feature is how the vehicle uses LiDAR to recognize a person in the crosswalk and immediately stops the vehicle, avoiding a collision. As we told you on our last show, JTA is planning to unveil an AV test track before the end of the year.
I'm Eugene Lindsay in Atlanta, Georgia at the 2017 APTA Expo where nearly 1,000 vendors are on hand. Coming up, I'll show you the latest in transportation technology and innovation.
I'm Terry Casey. Coming up, you'll meet a savvy downtown businesswoman in Jacksonville who chooses the JTA Express every single time. You'll find out why.
Sports Talk legends Dan Hickman and Jeff Prosser tackle the big issues.
Is that the one who has the matching surgeries for their daughter?
It was the largest pokey adventure in the United States.
I mean, you're throwing whoredom into the Bible this morning.
It was a lesson.
What's the lesson? Read the book, kids. There's some cool words in there.
I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm a marketing guy now.
And sometimes they talk sports.
Aroldis Chapman to the Cubs.
Great move for the Cubs.
The Drill with Hickman and Prosser. Weekday mornings on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Problems. The ones people don't want to talk about. The ones that can't be solved overnight. We go looking for them. In unforgiving neighborhoods and struggling communities, we fight for those who need a voice. At United Way, we fight for the health, education, and financial stability of every person. Because change doesn't happen alone.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
For most of us, eating healthy is just a matter of choice. We go to the nearest supermarket and pick out all the fresh produce we want. But how healthy would you be if all you had nearby was fast food restaurants and convenience stores filled with junk food and frozen pizzas? Every Friday, JTA's Rosa Parks Produce Market is helping you eat healthier with lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, all at reasonable prices. Rosa Parks helped change our world. Now the Rosa Parks Produce Market can help change your life.
You're watching Making Moves, honored by the American Public Transportation Association with its 2017 AdWheel Award for Excellence in Television and Video.
Welcome back to Making Moves. With nearly 1,000 vendors, the American Public Transportation Association Expo is the largest display of transportation technology in North America. If you can imagine, several 100,000 square feet of everything from real train cars, huge bus washing machines, to facial recognition security measures, this expo really had it all. Making Moves' Eugene Lindsay took it all in and shows us some of the latest technology advancements now available to transit agencies.
Over 300,000 square feet of the Georgia World Congress Conference Center became the focal point of this year's APTA Expo. This exhibition hall is where you could find the very latest developments in a multitude of areas when it comes to meeting the needs of mass transportation. Everything from the latest in bus washing systems to driverless vehicles. These exhibitors certainly demonstrated the theme of this year's expo, where innovation and technology converge. With hundreds of exhibitors here, not just from the United States, but from around the world, showcasing the latest developments in mass transit technology, the focus here is to make mass transportation more appealing and accessible so that as the population grows, more people will be drawn to use public transportation. NextBus is a mobile application that keeps transit commuters in the know when it comes to tracking their bus. Designers of the program say there are some major new developments on the horizon with NextBus 2.0.
As part of the new system, we're actually not only pulling in automatic vehicle location feeds, but we're now incorporating both traffic and weather. And we present these pieces of information in order for the dispatch staff to look at it and help optimize their transit operation. When it comes to the rider's perspective, the riders will have access to a brand new smartphone application with some new functionality. Down the road, we plan on adding a trip planner and a mobile ticketing portion to that mobile app.
Technology advancements are also critical to transit maintenance workers who make sure the buses keep rolling in tip-top shape. Select, the makers of vehicle lift units, showed off their new cord-free lift stations. Multiple individual lifts can now be synchronized to one remote, giving mechanics more safety and precision when it comes to getting under the hood.
Which gives the ability to operate up to 50 feet away from the primary control column, giving the operator more vision about what's happening above the vehicle if there's an overhead obstruction.
Throughout this exhibition hall are signs that mass transportation is moving fast into the future. Boris Kosh with Cubic explains that it is paramount that people keep moving fast even before they get on board.
And then we're spending a lot of time innovating new user experiences. So what you see behind me is a concept called a gateless gate line. So perhaps many of your viewers occasionally use toll roads who've changed from putting up a barrier where you threw some coins into a basket and slow down the traffic. Well, many of our customers have similar issues, how to get people faster onto buses, how to get people faster to train stations, because as more people move into cities and use public transportation, part of the challenge our customers have is how do they transport more people faster and make it easier for people to use. So this project is very much about removing barriers, literally.
And talk about removing barriers, the NEC Corporation is taking a different approach with its facial recognition technology, something they say will help with everything from access to security in mass transportation. Here's a look at how it works.
We have the ability to, in real time, identify security if a known offender steps in front of a camera. So I'm registered in the system. If I look at the camera, the system immediately recognizes me and an alert is sent to security and appropriate action taken. So the next use case is using facial recognition for automated fare collection. Now I'm pre-registered, I've created an account in the system. If I walk up to our terminal, the system immediately recognizes me and charges my account $2. So I've now been able to enter the transit system just using my face. No need to deal with the logistics of a ticket.
Bringing these advanced technologies into transportation is something that everyone here is excited about, because they say it is good for customers
and can make mass transportation a more pleasurable experience. In Atlanta, Eugene Lindsay, JTA, making moves.
In other news, a land swap between the city of Jacksonville and the JTA has paved the way for future development in LaVilla, near the authority's Regional Transportation Center, now under construction. The city owns all the property at Northwest Stewart and Houston Streets, with the exception of 3/4 of an acre owned by JTA. Meanwhile, the city owns about half an acre next to the JTA property across the street. So the two will swap those two small parcels, giving each entity a complete piece of property. The Downtown Investment Authority is now expected to begin marketing its property for potential development.
Between JTA and the Downtown Investment Authorities, we've partnered together. We've hired a firm, Rummel Munns, that will lead a development strategy effort for LaVilla. And that firm will come up with the uses that need to take place within the neighborhood itself. We're certainly looking at the ability to have residential, commercial retail, and some semblance of office space in the area as well. We have the opportunity to create Jacksonville's first transit-oriented development here, and so that's what we're looking at doing.
The JTA also worked out a separate land deal with the FDOT to allow the agency to build a retention pond near the new Greyhound station. In return, the JTA got the land alongside Forsyth Street off-ramp to build its new bus terminal. Well, if you use Kernan Blvd, you'll want to hear this. The JTA Board of Directors has approved $20 million to expand Kernan Blvd to 6 lanes between Atlantic Boulevard and Matthew Unger Drive, and to 4 lanes from Matthew Unger Drive to McCormick Road. The new road will have raised medians, curb and gutter sidewalks, bike lanes, a 12-foot multi-use path on the east side of the road, as well as utility improvements. Kernan is the 3rd major roadway rebuild under the JTA Mobility Works program. Construction is set to start next spring.
I'm Terry Casey. Coming up, you'll meet a savvy downtown businesswoman in Jacksonville who chooses the JTA Express every single time. You'll find out why.
Blake running to the left now, stays behind the line, fires toward the end zone, wants Allen Hurns, diving attempt!
Football season is here, and there's only one place you can hear Jaguars football. 1010XL 92.5 FM, the official radio station of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Touchdown, Jacksonville!
Happy employees mean a happy workplace. My employees take advantage of transit tax benefits. Employees use pre-tax dollars to pay for their commute, reducing taxable income. And the more pre-tax reductions that are made, the more employers decrease their payroll taxes. There's no enrollment period for transit tax benefits, and your business or employees can join or leave anytime. Plus, one of JTA's transit benefit partners does all the work. Your transit commuter tax benefit is waiting.
For most of us, eating healthy is just a matter of choice. We go to the nearest supermarket and pick out all the fresh produce we want. But how healthy would you be if all you had nearby was fast food restaurants and convenience stores filled with junk food and frozen pizzas? Every Friday, JTA's Rosa Parks Produce Market is helping you eat healthier with lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, all at reasonable prices. Rosa Parks help change our world. Now the Rosa Parks Produce Market can help change your life.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
People ride JTA for many different reasons. Some don't have any other means of transportation or ride to save money. Others choose public transit for environmental reasons. Then there's Charlene Hickman. She is a successful businesswoman. She works downtown, has a car, but wanted a different kind of morning commute. As Making Moves senior correspondent Terry Casey tells us, after you hear her story, you may rethink your morning commute too.
Jacksonville rush hour traffic can be brutal. In the morning when you're heading downtown, and in the afternoon when you struggle to get home. Meet Charlene Hickman, a savvy downtown businesswoman caught in traffic snarls twice a day, every day, for too long. She still has vivid memories of driving to work and what a hassle it was.
Very much of a hassle. You know, why do I have the stresses when I get to work? And it was all because of just dealing with the traffic.
So she tried JTA, caught a bus, and everything changed.
And then I realized this is the way to go downtown.
Her bus stop just happens to be steps away from where she works. That's hard to beat any way you look at it. Since catching that first bus years ago, Charlene has become a regular rider.
I choose to ride the bus because it is so available.
And her ride of choice?
I've always called the express bus.
One thing Charlene really likes about the Express is it gets her to work in the morning and home in the evening faster and with fewer stops. So all Charlene has to do is sit back and relax.
I just love riding the bus. I have my quiet time. I can meditate. I can read, I can crochet, I can look at my phone, I can just take a nap if I'm tired. It's so relaxing. If I have to drive in, I dread it. I really do.
Charlene tells her friends she saves a lot of money riding the bus. She doesn't pay to park, no shelling out for gas every week, and minimal wear and tear on the car, just to name a few. So what else does she tell them?
Oh, I tell them, you need to ride the bus. And some of them have tried it. I remember one time some person told me, how can you sit on that bus and sit in traffic? And I'm like, how can you sit in your car and sit in traffic? I can relax and close my eyes. You can't do that.
She's made a lot of friends on the bus and treasures that. But overall, what does she like most about riding JTA?
The people you meet, that's a plus. I mean, I've met wonderful people. The money I'm saving, I mean, that's a plus. And the less driving, the less stress I have when I get to work. I don't have that. I relax in the morning, and when I get to work, I'm fresh.
The Express pulls into the Marbonne Park and Ride, where the trip and Charlene's day are coming to an end.
Good night, everybody. Thanks. I love to ride the Express, so we only have, Express in the morning and Express buses in the afternoon. But, if you're working 8 hours a day, that's all you need. Thank you. Good night.
In downtown, Terry Casey, JTA Making Moves.
And that wraps up this episode of Making Moves. We thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Remember, you can check out past episodes anytime online at jtafla.com. And you can also find stories and other exclusive content when you like our Facebook page at facebook.com/JTA Making Moves. For everyone here, I'm Donna Deegan. We hope to see you next time for another edition of Making Moves. Take care, everyone.